What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 91 today of the My Player Career Mode. And in today's episode, we have some major stuff happening. We've got Player of the Year. We're going to find out who that is in today's episode. We've got some games to come, including a thriller against Liverpool. Also, we have a transfer offer to cover. So all of that to come in today's episode. Please make sure you watch through the entirety of the episode before you cast a vote on the decision, because I will go over the pros and cons of the offer that has been made, of course, when we get onto that bit later on. So let's just get through what's been happening for Manchester United, get through their games, see what's happening, and then we can talk about the offer that's come in from one of the clubs in world football. So we'll see all that to come later on down the line. But for now, the first game comes against West Brom at the Hawthorns. This is going to be an interesting one. Defensively, still only 4 goals conceded all season long for Manchester United. Very happy with that indeed. However, Varane's on the bench today for them, so I'm intrigued to see why that actually is. The side from West Brom, they've got a couple of decent players. Ollie Burke, they've even got Tom Davies as well, formerly of Everton, of course. So they've got a few decent players, but ultimately, this should pretty much be a one-way street for United. The side is very good. It's got some quality players in, and we should be able to get the results here out of this game. But I have to say, the West Brom goalkeeper, mad credit to him, because he played a stormer during this match. 26 minutes in, Ben pulling the strings from the midfield, finding Jota. Jota going through, tries to find Romelu Lukaku. His initial shot is blocked. In the end, he ends up hitting the post with the rebound. I thought for a second he was going to find the back of the net. Eventually finds his way back to Ben, whose shot is saved by the keeper. Went through a lot of bodies there. I was maybe thinking that is going to be the reason why the keeper won't be able to see it, but as I said, credit to him, because he did play very, very well in this game here. As Ben again trying to create something. Lovely skill, gets the pass inside. Eventually Lukaku picks the ball up, finds its way through, and another great save from the West Brom keeper denies Man United the opener in the match. And it took 58 minutes for the next chance to appear. Great move from Manchester United. Lukaku into Ben. Ben gets there just ahead of that man, turns this one here, and unleashes a rocket, which unfortunately for West Brom is good enough to beat their goalkeeper in between the sticks. Honestly, there isn't much to do when they've got quality like that on the pitch, as Lukaku and Ben seem to have their own little handshake going on, so we're not going to talk about that anyways. But as I said, it was so unlucky for West Brom because their keeper made 2 really good saves in the first half and just played a very good game overall, you know. So I was slightly disappointed for him, but overall you can't really give Ben that kind of space and time, because he does that to you. So fantastic strike, and it meant that United took the lead here at the Hawthorns. But it wouldn't end there, because there's still 29 minutes left of this game, and the chances are, we always see it, whenever it seems to be a team takes the lead, the old saying as it goes, you're at your most vulnerable when you've just conceded, couldn't have been more true here in this game, because after that, West Brom, they turned to life. I don't know what happened. They created one chance out of nowhere. They didn't do anything in the first half. With 12 minutes to go, they did this. Quayson down the left-hand side, used his strength to hold off the man there, whips a great ball to the back stick. Harper completely unmarked, hits the woodwork, and that sent the West Brom fans into overdrive. At that point, they thought maybe they could get something out of the game, but unfortunately for them, they couldn't do it. We ended up coming away with a 1-0 win, but as I said, literally one chance out of nowhere, and that could have been a different story. If the post hadn't have been there, it would have been 1-1, and it would have been a point even, both sides going home. One of them would have been very disappointed, the other one very happy. But yeah, luckily for United, they held on. Not really convincing defensively with that chance given away. You can't fall asleep at the back like that. You have to defend better. So anyways, it is 1-0. They do get the win, and it is Ben with the goal of the game that got them the 3 points, and what a goal it was as well. And after that game was played, there was a cup game coming up against Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup 3rd round. But pretty much 3 days later, Chelsea in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. So Mourinho decided that he wouldn't risk his star player, I guess you could say, in the form of Ben. He decided he was going to bench him for this one, so he did unfortunately have to sim it, which as you can see, we did. Sheffield Wednesday, away from home. You never know which one this was going to go, because away games, when you sim them, can be so ridiculous sometimes. So when we got into this, we ended up with a 1-1 draw, which meant it goes to a replay, which will be played over at Old Trafford. So slightly frustrating, but it is the way it is. And as I said, we had the player of the year to be announced, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I spoke last episode talking about who I thought it was going to be. Eriksen would be in there with a shout, potentially one of the guys from Chelsea who won the Premier League, but It is going to be Ben picking up his second Player of the Year award of his career. Very happy with that indeed, but you know, it's kind of weird to say the fact that that is kind of in the episode, yet that isn't the biggest news to come out of today's episode. He's picked up a Player of the Year, and yet that isn't the thing that I'm most excited about. So anyways, moving on, Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-final. As I said, we will have them over 2 legs for this one. So in terms of the game, they, of course, first leg at Stamford Bridge. Arguably, you'd say you'd probably take a 0-0 draw or a 1-1 draw here, and then, you know, go back to the Old Trafford, needing, of course, to win the game. But ideally, you want to come away with this with a victory. You want to put yourself in an advantage, and to do that, we're going to have to beat a very good Chelsea side. But as I also said last episode out, there is Reading and Ipswich, I think, were the other 2 teams in the competition. And if you remember what I said, if we do beat Chelsea, then there's no reason why we won't go on to win the competition. So Chelsea's side is a decent one, though. They've got Morata, Castillo, and Andre Gomez, not Angel Gomez of Manchester United. It's Andre, of course, formerly of Barcelona. But United, again, Lukaku against his former club, it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep him quiet. I like it when players go against their former club because it just adds a little bit of spice to the game. And it was actually Lukaku with a first chance. Ben from Pogba gets it from Matic. You can see, turns his man with a nice little, body feint, dinks the ball over the top to Romelu Lukaku. And inside 5 minutes, Manchester United took the lead at Stamford Bridge. There's questions about this one here because there's 2 options, I think, for Courtois. He could have either stayed on his line and hoped that Lukaku couldn't bring this down and then obviously volley it in with the left foot, or he could have done what he did and trying to come out and stop him and get ahead of him on the ball. But either way, I think both of them would have resulted in a goal. If he'd have stayed on his line, there is no defender nearby Lukaku, so he would have had the time to probably control it and then smash it home. On the other side, he comes out to try and stop him. And as I said, it's just unfortunate he doesn't get there ahead of him. So, fellow countryman Romelu Lukaku beats Courtois against his former club. And Chelsea, the team that brought Lukaku over to England, are the team that he scores against in this semi-final inside 5 minutes. Disappointing start from the Stamford Bridge crew, but you can say as well they've still got a long way to try and, I guess, redeem themselves. But you can't do this. We just watched Ben score a screamer against West Brom. So as a defender, you do not let him run at you like that. If you keep backing away and backing away and backing away, you're basically asking him to hit the ball. That's exactly what he did. Picked it up quite deep away from goal, beat his first man, and as I said, they just backed off and stood off him, allowed him a little bit too much time. He thought, you know what, there's no real pass on, so I'm just going to hit this and see what happens. Courtois can't get near it. You can't blame the big Belgian in between the sticks for Chelsea's downfall here because he couldn't have done anything against Lukaku's and he certainly couldn't have done anything against Ben's. And there is, again, the little celebration that we saw from Lukaku and Ben last time out with this time Martial. So, yeah, a little bit of handshakes going on, I guess you could say. But we are playing, by the way, guys, on 70 for the goalkeeper's, I guess, ability. So it shouldn't really be as easy as it has been for us to score these screamers. But then again, Ben does have like 96 long shots. So it's not really that bad, to be fair. But Chelsea, they did get at least a goal from the game. And that could be a vital goal for the second leg. Alvaro Morata, I guess, slotting home from a very close, tight angle. And in the end, it was a disappointing way to concede because didn't really feel that David De Gea positioned himself right. And just overall, it wasn't a nice goal to concede. It was a pretty poor one, to say the least. So yeah, I guess you could say on another day they would have come away with a 2-0 win Manchester United and would have been cruising through to the final. However, the next game at Old Trafford is going to be interesting because it means now it's a 2-1 aggregate lead for Manchester United, but Chelsea will have to throw the kitchen sink at Manchester United next time out. So 2-1 win, happy days, but it would have been even better to get the 2-0 win. So from Stamford Bridge, the fans, I don't know, will the Chelsea fans be booing that one, not unhappy with their side? I mean, personally speaking, it is, I guess, 2 moments of quality in the game from Ben, setting up Lukaku and then just unleashing that unbelievable shot from distance. So, on another day, he probably doesn't score that and Chelsea get a 1-1 draw here. But, unfortunately, that wasn't today. So, a very good result as well. When you consider the fact that United are running away with the league, we're now into, I'd say, a final. I'm feeling pretty confident the boys can defend against Chelsea next time out. They're still in the Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup. This season has been a really good season so far. So 8.6 match rating for Ben and also a man of the match performance. I think that was as well his 25th goal of the season in all competitions, which is a sensational return if you consider that. So, I mean, what can you say other than the fact that that's absolutely brilliant? Moving forward, we did have to play another difficult game. This one was Liverpool. But going into game, they're sat 16th at the moment. You are hearing that correct. Manchester City are 15th. Liverpool are 16th. I think they're 4 or 5 points ahead of the relegation zone, though. So it's not exactly like it's a terrible situation for Liverpool in terms of what it could be. But it's still really, really bad. So going into the game at Anfield, I didn't know whether or not to take this as the fact that this should be a United win, or if I should just look at the side of Liverpool and not currently how they're playing, because their team is still very good. I said this last time when we played against them at Old Trafford. Liverpool ended up scoring first in that one, and it ended up being a 1-1 draw. Anfield's a different story. It's a hard place to come and get a result out of. So when I was coming here and looking at the two sides, and when I saw them kind of come out, I saw the side of Liverpool and I thought, okay, we can't take the fact that they are in 15th place as, that's how they're going to play, because their side is still very good. So going into game, I didn't want to take any, liberties with them. And I felt like we had to show them the respect that they probably did deserve. As you can see there from the league table, 14th and 13th, is where the two sides currently are. But, that's ridiculous. To see them both down there, I am so surprised. And surely the two managers, Pep and Klopp, must not be in a job next year, because that is a poor return if you are the manager of a club like this. But like it was at Old Trafford, Liverpool took the lead, and Anfield kind of held its breath for a few moments. I don't know what happened at the back for us, because we had the chance to clear this. You can see it's a nice little pass play, but in the end I feel like here right now is not strong enough, because Drusy just steals the ball backwards and gets it off and shoots. It's actually Gelson Martins in not a really area he'd wanted to be in. I don't know why he's back defending there. He's got to be much stronger in the challenge, because otherwise he just does that. And Liverpool took the lead inside 9 minutes. So a disappointing start to the game. But we're not worried. We've been in this position before against Liverpool. 1-0 down. We came back to get at least a point. But we've still got 80 minutes to go yet. But however, Liverpool, again, continued to create a chance. Drusy finding a nice ball to Rabiot. One-on-one with his defender. Beats him far too easily. Near post strike. David De Gea beaten. And just like that, Liverpool 2, Manchester United 0. Anfield erupted at this point. Inside 20 minutes, they'd scored to make it 2-0. And the worst bit was, Manchester United did not have an answer for the way that Liverpool were playing currently. Inside 20 minutes, they weren't able to defend. Whenever they got the ball, they were really sloppy with it, giving it away in areas that they just shouldn't give it away in. And I just kind of looked at this game and thought, what on earth is happening to Manchester United? Something is not clicking, because Liverpool have taken a 2-goal lead. We've come back from a goal down before, but we're yet to do it from a 2-0 deficit against Liverpool. So it's going to have to be a special second half for us to really get anything out of the game. Could have been much worse, though, because again, from there, Liverpool created another chance. Rabiot again into Givrella. He picks up the ball, finds Emre Can, back to him, eventually falls to Mane, and if he'd have scored this, it was game, set, and match here at Anfield. They couldn't believe the way they were playing, considering the fact they're in 13th place, but I was just stunned at this point. Second half began, and Ben trying to get his team back on the front foot. Unfortunately, though, he met a very good goalkeeper with a good save, and that pretty much summed up Manchester United's afternoon. Martial sliding in. Moment of, frustration from the Frenchman. I'm not so sure that this is a free kick. That's probably why the referee hasn't booked him. But the truth is, it was just a frustrating afternoon for everybody involved. Rabiot holding off his man. Martial does kind of go in, hard on the man, but I wouldn't say that was a free kick personally. But anyways, we've got about 30 minutes to go after that. But it didn't matter, because Manchester United just literally had one of those afternoons where nothing came off for them. Every pass going astray. Coutinho happy with the way his team had played after that one, but ultimately for Manchester United, that's their second defeat of the season this far. And it's not a nice way to continue what should have been a good episode so far. So Rabiot on the score sheet, and it was Liverpool who took the win from Anfield. I said it was a tough place to come, but to say the least, that was just a disappointing performance from everybody involved. But luckily, that is how we end the episode off in terms of gameplay for the episode today. We do have one more game to come. It is against Sheffield Wednesday. Unfortunately, it will be simmed again because of the fact that they do again have that Chelsea second leg to come now. literally 3 days later. So again, not risking him. We don't want to risk Ben, especially in the third round of a competition. Oh, sorry, no, we had a Premier League game to come. That was it. So we don't really need to risk Ben in the third round of an FA Cup. You know, it's not really like we need him in those kind of games. So a 1-0 win anyway sends them through to the fourth round. And after that, I saw this. Transfer offer for Ben. PSG in France have come up with the big bucks and they've decided that they want to spend that money on Ben and take him over to France. Now, before you make your decision, I want you guys to make a serious kind of judgment here. I'm going to go over the pros and cons about this decision as we take a look at the side that PSG have and what they're currently doing. So, pros about possibly going to PSG. Number one, Neymar is currently still at PSG, so he will be able to meet up with one of the best players in the world. Number two, their side is very well organised. They've got a good squad, and ideally, I think they're probably going to be winning yet another French League title, potentially maybe even a future Champions League winner, and another cup as well, so it's a chance for Ben to win even more trophies that he hasn't won before. But the cons, they are, of course, Ben is probably on his way to another Premier League title, of course, already winning it previously, though. He's probably on his way to maybe another Carabao Cup final, and maybe another Carabao Cup win. He's still in the Champions League with Manchester United, so he could still win that. And if he does go to PSG, of course, he'll be cup tied for it. Won't be able to play for PSG in their, I guess, Champions League run, even though they're still in it. But because he's cup tied, it means he'll have to miss those games. So there is that little bit to think about. And in many ways, at the moment, he is kind of halfway through a season in which it's going really well for Manchester United. They're on for the quadruple still currently. So please take that in consideration when you make your decision as to what you want to happen. The way to vote, we are going to have a vote in the description because I've seen a few people saying that they can't vote during the I button. So I'm going to put a link in the description. Also, I will put it as a comment down below on today's video for you guys to make sure you vote. What should Ben do? Stay with Manchester United, try and win the quadruple. He's still in all competitions. Or move to PSG, link up with Neymar, potentially win his first, I guess, French League title. Another cup potentially as well. But remember, he will be cup tied and so won't be able to play in the Champions League. So make sure you do cast your vote, guys. Other than that, that is how we end today's episode off. If you did enjoy it, a like, rate, would greatly appreciated. And I will see you all for the next episode, where we'll see if Ben joins PSG or stays at Manchester United. Catch you all next time. Adios.